touch on the subject of parenting. I'm going to speak from my own experience growing up as a child and being an adult also. First, I want to say, what kind of parent would have a child to trap the father? There's many reasons why that happens. In my mother's case, it was to trap my dad with my sister because his family had money. And then I was the affair baby. She didn't trap anybody with that, but she did lie to the man who's supposed to have been my father by saying that I was his child. And I didn't find out until my 40s that he was not my biological father. He was never around anyway, so it didn't hurt that bad. It hurt that my mom lied to me. And he was the most positive person in my life, and I rarely seen him, which says a lot. There's not very many positive people in my life. And then I want to touch with parents who feel like as soon as their kids are adults, they do not need any advice from their parents, whether it be positive or something good. I'll be 55 this January, and there are times where I still ask for advice, not from my parents, but from friends and coworkers and such. I'm like, there's times where I'm in a situation that I have to get a second opinion because you question yourself. What if I'm doing the wrong thing? Or what if I'm doing this wrong? Or maybe I need to ask somebody to see what they would do and compare. I am engulfed in this spider web currently that I know someone who feels like the kids are adults and they don't need to be parented anymore. And that's not the way it works. In my case, being a parent, I had kids knowing that I would be there for them until I cross over or they cross over. But me being a parent would never end. Just because my kids are adults doesn't mean they're not my kids anymore. I will always be there for them. And if they're doing something wrong, I will step in and gently say, you might want to rethink that. Or, are you sure you want to do that? Or, I think that you're treating somebody wrong and you're hurting them by doing so. And I also think that your intentions may not be correct. There is gentle ways of guiding your kids. Throwing your hands up saying, my kids are adult, I will not ever give them advice again, is completely wrong. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say, okay, I have adult kids. I'm going to throw them out to the wolves. They're going to be fending for themselves. And that's it. That's not the way parenting goes. The way parenting goes is, as they're reaching close to adult age, as in 18 and slightly over, you start guiding that child even before 18 and show them how much rent is, how much food costs, how much your utilities are going to be, your car payment, your insurance. And you have to pull all that out to them and say, this is what it's going to take for you to live on your own. So you might want to think about this situation and get mentally and physically prepared in every way. Gently help them. I mean, I would never push my kid out as long as they're doing something for themselves, as in like going to school. As long as they're going to school, they can live with me for as long as it takes. But I will never boot my kid out. Now, if they're being lazy and they're laying around playing Xbox games or whatever, and they're not doing anything else, they want to take your car and they expect you to feed them. Now, that's a whole different thing. Then you start getting a little bit more pushy about getting them out. In my opinion, and I'm not saying I'm right, but if that doesn't help, then just don't give them your car anymore. Just gentle nudges of saying, hey, it's time to get out. You're an adult. But you're always going to be there to guide them. I feel like that's the the right thing the parent should do, especially when they go to hurt somebody else. If you're watching that person hurting because of what your kids are doing to them, and when I mean hurting, I mean drastically hurting. I'm talking depression, thoughts of unaliving themselves, withdrawing from family, withdrawing from people. When you start seeing those signs of that person suffering because of what your kids are doing to them, it's time to reach out and say, you need to realize what you're doing. And I feel that the things that you're doing are wrong to that person. If that person has been mean to your kids, that's a whole different story. I feel like, yeah, your kids are probably doing justice from what they see or have been through. But when that person that is being hurt has done nothing wrong or has done the best they can with the best intentions, and you see your kids hurting them, extremely hurting them, then it would be the parent's time to reach out and say, you've got to stop, because I see what you're doing and I know what that person is going through, and everything they've done to you was in their best intentions, the best way they could. You're always going to guide your kids. Now, I'm going to say this too. If my kids were adults and they were bullying people, if they were putting them down, making other people feel worthless or like trash, even if they're adults, I'm going to approach them and I'm going to tell them exactly how I feel. I'm going to tell them, hey, look, it is wrong what you're doing to these people. You need to stop, because you should be really ashamed of yourself of how low and miserable and bad you're making these people feel about themselves. My kitty. I wanted to touch that today because of circumstances that I am aware of. And I think that sometimes parents need to remain parents. And I'm not saying, take care of your kids until they're in their 80s. That's a whole different story. Take care of your kids if they have kids and they're not helping their kids. That's a different story. But still, you're always a parent. You need to guide them. You had children for a reason. Do the best that you can. I say I know about these circumstances because I do. I'm aware of these things that are going on. And I can't sit here and say who or what or where or when, but I'm fully aware of what's going on. And it's traumatic. It's very traumatic. And it makes it more traumatic that the parent doesn't step in and say something. That makes it twice as bad. In my opinion, it's like mentally, internally, the parent's thinking, oh, I know they're doing wrong. I'm not going to correct them because I'm keeping them strictly to myself and nobody else can have them and, engulf them. And also that parent that isn't biological to other children in a marriage, even though that parent raised them, but favors the other two because they're biological, is wrong also. It's really wrong on many degrees. I feel that I see that going on and have for a while, but I don't know if the other two children even know what's going on just yet. But this whole circumstance just angers me. And I think that's what's going on with me here lately. I am so angry. I am not an angry person. I'm either happy, mellow, or sad. I am not an angry person. I have never been angry. Nobody has seen me angry. And I'm talking extreme anger. I'm talking about, I can't describe it, but I'm sure you get where I'm going. There's been one time that I was really, really angry and I blacked out. This girl, when my oldest was not even a year old, she's 33 now, but this girl come out at my workplace. The guy she was having an affair with was sexually harassing other girls, and I reported him because he was sexually harassing me. He was married and just had a kid, and this girl came up to me. She was having an affair with him, and she tried to pick a fight with me, and she was cussing me, and I said, you need to stop because my mom and my daughter's here. And she's like, let's go outside the gates and I'm gonna beat your me. And I said, okay. So I started walking toward the gates, and she kept stopping, saying, don't touch me until we get out there. And she turned around 3 times. I grabbed her coat and started pulling her, and she ripped my shirt open in front of everybody because it was when everybody was getting off of work. And I lost it. I got extremely mad. And all I remember was grabbing her jacket like this, and she was shorter than me. But I grabbed her jacket like this. I remember I picked her up off of the ground and threw her down. And that's all I remember until the very end. I become aware that my fist was skidding off of her face into the gravel. The parking lot was gravel. And I remember, because it hurt, and my fist was just, going through there. And then a fist came and hit me in the face accidentally. This man went to grab me like this, and his fist hit me in the face. And the girl had my hair. They were separating us. She had my hair, and she had hair down to her waist, and I grabbed it and wound it around my arm and telling her, let go of mine. But I felt no pain. I felt no pain whatsoever. And then I left. And, because security came out, it was a big deal. So I left, and I go to the gas station, and my adrenaline going. I was just so angry. And I don't remember half of the stuff that went on. Then all of a sudden, I started itching underneath in my hairline back there. And as I was scratching, I realized I was pulling chunks of hair out of my other hair. And I'm talking chunks. It wasn't like tiny strands or anything. It was wads. I didn't even feel her doing that because I was so angry. But this circumstance of parents has got me angry. Part of me doesn't even know how to control this. I've been angry for a while. I actually done a video not too long ago with me being angry, and I know it has to do with this. That's all I can say about that. That's all I can say. I sometimes think I'd rather be angry than sad, because sad is the worst emotion, in my opinion. Angry is not that great either, but being sad, all these bad thoughts go through your head that hurt you. You're hurting yourself and making yourself believe that others are hurting you too. And you just kind of go down a horrible spiral. But when you're angry, I feel like it's temporary. And it's kind of like you want justice. You just want to get out there and just, I don't know how to express that because I'm not an angry person. So I don't know how to process that. I know when I ascend, I get angry. And maybe that's also what I'm going through now. Ascension is very difficult for me. Why, I don't know. But it makes me very angry. And my star family does let me know when I'm ascending, if I ask. Usually I'm very aware. Also, when the energies rise, like on the Schumann resonance, when they start claiming, I get extremely sad. And I'm talking the lowest of lows sad. I'm talking about unaliving sad. And this last time when the Schumann resonance looked like a DNA strand for days, that was one of those days. It is a total miracle that I'm still here, because that was very, very difficult for me. And when you see these TikToks and YouTube saying, there's a solar flare, or there's going to be more energies rising because the whole planet is ascending and such, and well, that's what I'm talking about. They will say, as they're talking about this, expect unalivings, unalivings. I can't say the word. Those people will just start dropping off like flies. And I was almost one. I really was. But this was my deal. This is horrible. I was going through that, plus personal family issues, which made me very sad, which was a very bad combination. Very bad. And I'm just saying, it's a miracle that I'm still here. It is a total and absolute miracle. Because since I was born, I remember just my first memories were bad. Clear up to the current day, things are bad in my life. And so when you have all that mixed with all these energies, I'm here to tell you it's not pleasant. It doesn't feel good. The star seeds feel it the most. And we feel it the most because we're sensitive. I do believe that some star seeds are light workers, I should say, all of us that come here to help. They feel the energy so intensely like I do. But some that have got really pissed over time, I think they can, I don't know why rebuke is coming through my head, but more or less bounce off all of these energies and just like, F you, I'm done. I sometimes want to feel that way. I really do. Sometimes I want to just say, screw it, I give up. I don't want to do this anymore. Even if I didn't unalive myself, there's times where I'm just like, I'm done. And it's because I've been shit on for so long. You have to stop and wonder, when does it end? Am I going to die and this stuff is going to happen to me continuously up until that point? Sorry, this video has been everywhere. I'm really sorry. I'm just like, all these things have been just going through in holes, punching through my soul, if that makes sense. And I can't help but think, what the hell was I thinking when I said, I'll volunteer. I'll go to Earth and help the people in Earth. And on top of that, I will take all of this abuse because I'm so powerful. I don't know what I was thinking. I really don't. And I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one. I see it on Facebook. I see it on TikTok. I see it on YouTube, on other channels. And it's not very pleasant. Earth is not a pleasant place to be. It really isn't. I hope when I do cross over, I hope and pray that my powerful spiritual self does not come out and say, oh, that wasn't so bad. I need to go back and do it again because I feel I can do it perfectly this time. I don't ever want to come back. I really don't ever want to come back. And I hope that my higher self is listening. Please listen. Please. I don't ever want to come back. I actually want to go to my home planet, which I feel is Arcturus, and I want to incarnate with my soulmate, and I want to be happy. And then I'm going to reincarnate again when that lifetime is over with another planet in mind, with my soulmate. I don't ever want to be alone like that again. And I know that our souls are supposed to be all this powerfulness, you know, and they are. No doubt they are. Our souls are powerful. But it's like, gosh, when my whole soul family, my soul group crosses over, I just want to go up to each and every one of them and say, what you did to me was wrong, and what you did to me is wrong. Oh yeah, and you really fucked my world up. Sorry, but that's how I feel. I think about it all the time. I have that mentality that I feel that all should line up, and it's going to be a long line, and have each and every one of them come up to me and say, I'm sorry. what I did to you was very traumatic and I am sorry. And the line is going to be long. And I'm not exaggerating. I am not one to sit here and say, everybody shit on me, when they really didn't. But in my life, they really did. There's not one family member. There's not one friend. Well, I have a couple of friends now. I don't know if you would qualify them as, well, I have one true friend, and I don't know if she wants me to say her name. And my painter friend, we're getting to know each other pretty good, and I would consider her my friend. She said I could use her name, but I don't want to use her name because I don't know if she thought this through, but she comments a little bit. And if I said her name, then they're going to know who she is. And I don't know if she thought that through. She didn't really want to come out in the limelight. Not yet, anyway. I had to get on here and I had to rant a little bit. I had to burn some of this energy, which I really didn't burn enough. But I will say, last night, I woke up to what felt like, again, that it either went through my comforter onto the bed, or somebody had my comforter and did that. You know, if they're at the foot of the bed, and they lift the comforter up and flopped it, and it will like to do a wave, because I felt the air go right through me. Not on top of my body. It felt like it went right through me. And it was cool. It wasn't cold. It was just slightly cool. And I kept my eyes shut because I'm like, oh, I wonder what else they're going to do. But that's all I remember. So I don't know if it's my soul coming back to my body or they were bringing me back from the ship. I don't know. I have no clue. So I'm going to end this video here. It says it's over 23 minutes long, but of course when I edit it, it's going to be shorter. Thank you for listening to me. It means the world to me. It really does. More than you will know. So I'm going to end this here, and I'm going to send each and every one of you love, light, and peace. Bye.